Crud, I forgot my drink. There you go, get it. Well, anyways, are we popping all over, really? What's up? Man, oh man. Forgot my drink. My sippy drink. Might as well. Let's see here. Yeah, because I am just done. Done with Magic right now. Yeah, because I'd rather play other stuff. Dang, man. I'm just confused. What else I got? Really like these. Oh, wait, I got a sleeve. I don't know what I did with my Card Fight Vanguard cards, though. Oh, man. Is that a sleeve, too? No. No, it is not. Good morning, everyone. Just hopped on. Man, getting over a cold. No. I bet you I'd look good in it, though. I bet you I would. What's up? No. That'd be pretty funny, though. Not much. I haven't done a live on YouTube before, so I figured I'd hop on. I'm mainly a trading card game channel. Yeah, it's already more than I expected. Now it's of course down to 7, but it is what it is. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've usually done lives on my TikTok, but like streaming video games like Borderlands, but um I'm a trading card game channel. I just figured I'd just hop on, try out lives. So, but I'm open to talking about anything. Fortnite, no. No, I don't play Fortnite. If I cards, I don't have any of my Magic cards out, but I was collecting some Pokemon for a while. But I just got into trying to learn Weiss-Schwarz. So, oh god. Yeah, that's my daughter. My daughter discovered Pokemon around then, and she loves it. But it's just hard to get cards now. But luckily, there's other ways to enjoy Pokemon. You got the video games, the TV shows, all that. Oh, that would be cool. That would be really cool. A Zelda trading card game. But yeah, no, she got into Hatsune Miku and the Vocaloids, so I looked up card games that have them. Vice Schwartz does. We also started collecting um these cards from Kaio. It's a Chinese trading card company. So they look pretty cool in a binder. You could get them pretty cheap. Um, they got the Vocaloids as well. So my daughter and I collect those together. And that's mainly what my channel was about. But I mean, I play trading cards. I played Magic. I played Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, all that stuff. Yeah. What's weird? So I've got a new box coming, and it was $60, but I got it from AliExpress. And AliExpress, you could get some coupons and stuff like that. I got enough coupons to knock it down to 25. So I'm thinking about having my daughter on the box opening. I might I might have her actually just open a couple packs and then save the packs for another video because she's really into it. But um, that's pretty cool. The same company, they make let me see. So I've got some cards here still. They also make a Marvel trading card game as well. I bought that just for the heck of it. Got that for pretty cheap. And then also we bought Sanryu cards. So if you're not familiar, those are like Hello Kitty, My Melody, and stuff like that. I bought that for her. And we got some pretty good pulls as well for her collection. And it's just fun to spend that time with her and kind of relive that collecting phase. It is really nice. Um, but a lot of cards, man, they just look cool. Like I collected Dragon Ball for a little bit. The Dragon Ball cards are just beautiful. I'm really into the art of trading cards. I also got Bleach from those Caillou cards as well. I got Bleach cards. Um, just really awesome. I mean, she likes it. I like it. We can't get into Pokemon, so that's what we do. But yeah, yeah, that's. I mean, it's a good hobby. It's a good hobby to have. It's just like the really popular ones, though. They're just so tainted. Hey, thanks you too, Madison. I will. I even got like these DC ones. Let's see. This one's actually an error print of Cyborg from Kaio as well. These are thick freaking cards. So I bought those because it's like DC, and it does. It has their emblem. It has DC. It has the Caillou emblem, which is the little alien. So they're pretty sick. They're just sharp corners though, so you might want you if you get something like that, you're gonna want to sleeve them right away. Try and protect them. The Marvel ones are pretty cool, and it's obviously an actual trading card game. There's text, there's power, defense, and all that, and it's all pretty much full art. The light's not very good to show off the detail, but they're textured as well. And I bought a box of it just to, for the heck of it. I get them on AliExpress. So, um, but right now, trying to do Card Fight Vanguard and Vice Schwartz. just can't get into the big. Well, I wouldn't mind getting into um Yu-Gi-Oh, but I know I'd be so far behind in the meta. I'm already far behind with Magic. I played Pokemon on Pokemon Live on the computer. That's actually really fun. So that's another good way for like kids or collectors to get some games in. It's surprising how fun the Pokemon game really is. Just the amount of things you could do to just filter through your deck to get what you need, and then you can have your favorite monsters. It really is a fun game. Um, but yeah, I had a Magic game night yesterday, and I don't know. I'm just done with Magic. I just can't do it anymore. Just can't do it. It's pretty sad, but yeah, I do like Cardfight Vanguard though. I mean, I like the TV show. I picked up a deck, so pretty cheap. I think I got this one for like $9, $9 for this deck. So, well, thank you for the like, but yeah, I'm hoping to get to learning Cardfight Vanguard and learning Vice Schwartz. So far with Vice Schwartz, I've got a Rurouni Kenshin deck. Let me see here. There it is. The cards are pretty cool. So if you know the anime Rurouni Kenshin, I've got a Rurouni Kenshin deck. I picked that up. I think that was like $15 for the starter deck. And then because it's Hatsune Miku, I picked up a the Leonid deck. The Leonid, which is pretty cool because it's the band Leonid, but then it's also got the Vocaloids as well. And like I said, if you look at the art on the cards, they're bright, they're cool. The card stock's pretty nice, and the game itself seems to be really fun. Um, I don't know if I want to do like a tabletop simulator, like partner stream with people to see if anybody's interested, but it's something I'm thinking about. But I've got the rules for it. I've got the play mat because of those starter decks, and the game looks really fun. I even have these like Chinese knockoff Pokemon cards that are pretty fun to look at. My desk is just full of cards. Trying to see if I got them here. I mean, I've collected Lestrals too. I just gotta stop collecting. It's like I have a problem, but I don't know if I'm gonna be on live much longer because I just don't. I thought I had a lot to talk about, and I really don't. Unless you guys got questions or something like that. I mean, I can see why people do like game streaming. I was doing that on TikTok for a little bit. It's because you have more substance to deal with, but um, I kind of just want to do conversational trading card game streams, but I don't know. I probably should do it late at night. I hopped on though because I just wanted to get kind of comfortable with it, but um, but yeah, my channel is mainly a trading card game channel. I like to show off the art. I'm really big into trading card game art, and I'm also big into not being uh like tied down to the big trading cards YouTube stuff like Pokemon or Magic, and just kind of separating from the herd basically, I guess. Trying to show people that there's other card games out there besides those and you can have fun. But there's Card Fight Vanguard. There's so many card games out there. There's Card Fight Vanguard, Alestrals, Weisschwartz, Shadowverse Evolve, Sorcery, Lorcana. There's so many other card games out there besides Pokemon and Magic. It's just that they're so dominant here, and they get the spotlight on them like the they're the best card games in the world. Well, actually, Pokemon is still the most popular card game I think in the world, but Magic isn't. It's like the most competitive here. It's very popular, of course. It's not number one, I think, in the United States. It's probably number two. But every time I look up like what is Magic over in like Japan, because Japan is really big in the trading cards, right? Japan, I think it's like number five or six, shockingly enough. So that's why I think that they're starting to do more Japanese esque style trading card um, rules into their cards. I forgot what they were saying too. Oh, the full arts are trying to do more full arts too, and and then there was another thing too, a rumor that if you have a multicolored card, like let's say you're playing a commander deck that's red, blue, green, and you have a card that's green, white, because it shares the green, you're going to be able to put the card in it. And I told my friends, I was like, well, that's like a Japanese trading card esque style, with the keywords as like if you got I forgot what card game you could have done that with. Was it Card Fight? I can't remember, but there was a trading card game that like you could make. Oh, maybe it was Shadowverse. But anyways, it just reminded me of more of a Japanese or Asian trading card game style to make it more flexible and more in depth. So I really think that they're trying to tap into that market because they're not as popular over there as over here. But um, I don't see that. I don't think that they're going to be any more popular than what they are now over there. And of course, Magic is dominating here. Um, I'm still baffled. I think it's because they came out here. There's so many diehard fans that it's hard to break. But um, as somebody that's played off and on since seventh edition, I'm just baffled. I don't understand it. I've gotten into other card games. I've played other card games that are way more fun. But I always feel like a Debbie Downer when it comes to that. But just played a card game. I had a Magic card game night yesterday, and I just hit like a wall. I hit like a wall. I was done. I think I'm just done with it. I had a Sandman deck. Um, I was like, fine. I usually like to play decks that are like control. Um, have like some type of shtick I want to pull off, like venturing into the dungeon or something like that. I don't want to be ultra competitive, and plus, I know I'm not buying. I'm not buying, so I'm going with like old cards. So I'm not competitive at all. And I had a friend of mine. He played was it Necropotence? Anyways, with Necropotence, you could pay so many life. You exile cards from the top of your deck, and then um, at the end of your turn, you add those cards to your hand, I guess, and then you discard down to hand size. And he eventually pulled Bolus's Citadel, which then Bolus's Citadel is an artifact that you could look at the top card of your deck at any time, and you could pay in life equal to the casting cost, and you could cast a card. So on his turn, he cast Zatolpa. Um, he was playing some type of god as his commander. Um, Not hating on the deck at all. It just was really strong, and I sat there as like I can't compete with this. Oh, and he played Ghostly Prison as well. So Ghostly Prison, if we wanted to attack, I think we had to pay 2 mana per creature that we attacked. So it was a tax, and I just sat there and I was like looking at the clock, and it was like almost 10 minutes for his turn, and I was like, I don't know why I'm even here. I don't even know why I'm playing this game anymore. It's just weird. I try to make videos about it too. And it's just hard to make videos explaining. So maybe doing lives is better for me. Because I it's just interesting how Magic has evolved. And I sound like a hater, and I've turned into a hater, I guess. I just might as well harness it. I'm a hater for Magic the Gathering for what it is right now. I did make a video on my channel where I explained that it's HeroClix the card game, and I stand by that. Um, it could still be the most fun or in-depth trading card game, but just for me, I just can't do it anymore. Um, Collecting is fun though. It is cool, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They got Avatar: The Last Airbender. They're gonna do Star Trek. Um, really cool stuff. Edge of Eternities, I was pretty psyched about that. At first I wasn't. I thought Edge of Eternities was gonna be um a lame a lame set because I was like, why are they doing this? Why are they going in space? But then again, they did Aether Drift, and then they do these weird sets like Karlov Manor and you know, so I said okay. And then the lands and stuff, it's like, okay, yeah. Um uh Edge of Eternities, there we go. Edge of Eternities looks really good. And it had a pretty fun ship mechanic. It's setting them up now when they do Universes Beyonds, they're doing Star Trek. They could do another Warhammer 40K set. Um, so much of it, which is pretty cool. But it's just so weird. So I'm going back to Japanese trading card style games. I played Force of Will. I thought Force of Will was fun. Pretty affordable. Excuse me. Pretty affordable, right? And very fun game. It was cool to have like Alice in Wonderland going up against like the Cheshire Cat and stuff like that. Rapunzel. Um and it was just a really fun card game, but then they changed the art style and stuff like that. So then my friend and I dropped out of it. We're like, this is just too weird now. It's lost its charm and the gameplay's weird. I think the last deck I made for Force of Will was a Satan deck. It was weird. I got it was because you get to pick a J ruler, so it's like a commander. And I forgot what my commander was. It was Dante. It was I was playing the new at the time the new Seven Demons deck or whatever. I had Dante and I had some other like Demon of Loathing or something or Pride. And what you could do, ultimately, it's Satan. Satan was the main boss for me, or the main J ruler. So what you would do is that you have to J awaken, and then so J awakening is basically like in Dragon Ball they awaken, they flip them over. So you have to flip over both your J rulers at some point in the game, at least once, and then if they both have awakened then you could sacrifice them to bring out Satan, and then Satan just like controlled the game. And I got to play I think one or two games with him, and then it was like, okay, that's it. My friend pulled him in a booster box. I had to trade him, so I'm like, I want to run a Satan deck. I think that that's pretty unique. And then they came out with newer cards. Valentina, which was a control deck. I bought the new one at the time, and then just kind of stopped. So, but it was a fun game. Played Star Wars. Star Wars kind of reminds me. Well, Vice Shorts reminds me of Star Wars because it's kind of like a board game within a card game. Star Wars is cool because you've got, I guess, technically three zones if I remember correctly. You got your deck will be made of whatever your character is that you pick and their base, and then whatever colors those are, that's what you make your deck out of. So I've got a Darth Maul deck, um, because I love Darth Maul, and But you've got one side of the board or your game mat that's going to be for like ground units, and then the other side is for space units. So you're fighting two battles technically during each game. So you got a ground battle and an air and a whatever battle, and the goal is that you're trying to destroy the other's base. Which if you go very space heavy, you're susceptible, of course, to the ground, but um, a lot of people might not go space heavy, so you just want to go balanced, really. So Star Wars is a fantastic game. I haven't stayed with Star Wars fully. I stopped because it's made by Fantasy Flight Games. And Fantasy Flight, I'm familiar when I played Warhammer 40,000 and board games and stuff like that, and role playing games like Dungeons and Dragons. And Fantasy Flight does their games and then they will abruptly stop. So I just have been very skittish about Star Wars. I wish it was another company besides Fantasy Flight, or else I just keep going with it. Um, I've always been a fan though of the Card Fight Vanguard animes. In fact, I want to watch it again, or I want to get back into watching it. And that's what made me fall. It's just like Yu-Gi-Oh. It's what made me fall in love with the cards. I just never have learned how to play, and I finally bought two starter decks. Um, and then uh, because of my daughter and I loving to collect Miku together and stuff like that, I found out that you could get the Weiss Schwartz cards with Miku. They've got, I think, two or three sets. I think two sets. Um, Colorful Stage and then Project Diva. So I picked up the Colorful Stage because I think Colorful Stage you could get it like for like $39 for a booster box. Project Diva is like 80. It's like, I'm not gonna get that. It's an older set too. So we got two starter decks for Weiss Schwartz. The starter decks got Leonid, the band Leonid, and then Rurouni Kenshin. So, and then I picked up two starter decks for Cardfight Vanguard, and got some starter decks for Pokemon too. My daughter loves Pokemon, and I love playing Pokemon too. When it first came out, when I was a kid, and I didn't understand how to play it, and I built the worst deck. And I entered a Pokemon tournament at a Wizards of the Coast store in Arizona, and this mom helped her son that was like 5 play the game, and she built the deck for him and stuff, and they just destroyed me. I had nobody helping me. I didn't understand the energies and stuff. I was just trying to play like the anime or the car or the video games, and they just destroyed me. And now that I've gotten older, I realize I wonder if the mom played Magic and she was just teaching her son, this is how you make a deck for Pokemon. So, but no, Pokemon the trading card game is very underrated. Very, very underrated. I think it's a fantastic card game. A lot of people are playing the Pokemon Pocket trading card game. Pokemon Pocket is pretty it's just basically a streamlined version of Pokemon Live. It's not bad. It's actually really great. It's great to get quick games in, but I didn't realize that the cards are modified. I think like uh what's it called? What's the Professor's Research? The card Professor's Research in Pokemon Pocket. I want to say Professor's Research lets you draw 3 cards or something like that. Um in Pokemon Live, Professor's Research allows you, I think you discard your hand and draw 7 cards. So it's totally different. I think with Pokemon Pocket, it's 3 prize cards. And then for Pokemon Live in the actual TCG, it's 6 prize cards. But either way, those are both pretty fun. I played Yu-Gi-Oh when Yu-Gi-Oh first started, and wow, it is. I try to get back into it, and it has just changed. But I still love the animes. Well, most of the animes, some of them are just way out there. Um, Dragon Ball. I collected the original Dragon Ball Z trading card game from Score. which when I look up prices for those just to see what the value of the cards would be, because obviously the game's discontinued, you can only find the ones made by Panini pretty much and not Score because Score was the original. But that game was really fun. It came with a Z Scouter to track the power levels of your guys. I never got to learn how to play though. I always wanted to play it. I think I watched a YouTube video of somebody playing it and teaching it, and that game looked fun. It actually looked really fun. I just never got the chance. But it was cool. I remember going to Burger King and trying to collect the statues of like Goku and Vegeta and Piccolo, and they were like these silver statues that came with promo cards. You don't get stuff like that anymore. But but yeah, Dragon Ball Super, that's a good game. I just couldn't really get fully into it because of the mana system. You have to you have to pitch a card from your hand into your energy. So you're losing out. I play the game online now. It makes sense. It's actually pretty fun. It's fine. But when I was trying to play in the beginning, it's like, but I want these cards. I don't want to pitch a card for an energy, but um I'm all over the place. But I played so many card games. Universes. I like universes. Flesh and Blood. Um, I'm mixed on Flesh and Blood. I like the art. I like the concept of the game. I like playing the game. The only thing is that I don't know if I'm playing the game right. Them teaching the like teaching the how to play the game and stuff like that, the rules, they're very finicky. I think they came out and I think they still do it where it's just a QR code and you boot up the rule book online, but I remember when me and a buddy were playing, he played this chick that made ash dragons, and we didn't know how tokens work. We didn't know how token creatures work. And when it came down to it, we just were making up our own rules of what would make sense. So we don't know if we were playing it right. So I probably would say that the best trading card game that I have played, the one the one that I would think would be the one that made me like more amazed than anything would have to be Pokemon, shockingly enough. Now that I've gotten to play Pokemon, I feel like Pokemon is is the best trading card game I've actually played. Like my top 3, I think my top 3 would be uh Pokemon. Yeah, I don't even have Magic in my top 3. Um that I have actually played. Probably Pokemon, Star Wars, and then universes. I want to say that those are my 3 that I've actually played that I think that are really good is Pokemon, Star Wars, and then universes. It's really that's actually really tough if I had to pick 3 because I kind of want to fit Dragon Ball Super in there, but it would have to be the Masters and not Fusion World. But I didn't get to play much of it. Universes is cool because um get to I don't know, you get to simulate a fighting game. The only thing is, and this is the frustrating part, is the IPs that are in universes. I wish that there was like others. It's cool that they did like Soul Calibur, Mortal Kombat, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think the first one I got was My Hero Academia, and then my friend got Godzilla. And it was cool because like I've got a superhero fighting a kaiju. Um, but the game could be confusing, but it's so unique and fun. until I play Cardfight Vanguard or Vice Schwartz, my top three, actually, I'm going to change it, is going to be Pokemon, Force of Will, and Universes that I think are the most like amazing that I played. And it's mainly because of start with Universes. Universes being the trading card game that replicates basically you playing an arcade fighting game. It's just that I don't know if I'm playing it right at some points, but I love the check system. I love the foundations. I love how fluid the game could be with like there's so much in depth with that game that I've only scratched the surface of it honestly because when I'm playing it, I could check for my stuff, whatever, blah blah. But then your foundations or other cards have abilities, and I was like, I have the the My Hero Academia one, and I didn't. I was playing my friend. I didn't realize it, but there's like cards that I could flip over to then do something on a trigger. I could trigger this, and I was like, wow, there's so much here. I didn't realize that I can do. Um, so that's pretty cool. Force of Will. I put Force of Will at number two because I love the mana system. So you've got so many decks that you can do technically. You have your main deck, you have your stone deck, which is your energy, so you're never mana screwed, which is great. But then they came out with like a stranger deck for some type of mechanic. They came out with like a enchantment deck. I forgot what they called it, but a rune. I think it was a rune deck. So you could technically run at least three decks if you wanted to. You could have your rune deck. The stranger deck, I think the stranger deck and the rune decks weren't really decks. They were just like sideboards. And I think the stranger deck you're able to flip through and then cast your the strangers. Strangers, you had a limited amount, but you basically can fish them and play them. They were strong. I think they were cheap to play, but they were strong. But it was there was a benefit, and the benefit was really cool. Like I said, the stone deck you never get mana screwed. You got your J ruler, which is like your commander. They got their own abilities, and like I played Valentina was my first deck, and she had the mind control. She also came with a regalia or whatever that also did mind control on an enemy. Um, she didn't have any other decks though, so she just had the main deck and the stone deck because she was an older set. But then, like I said, the newer sets that came out, you could have done your main deck, stone deck, and then you could have had a stranger deck, which, like I said, is like five. I think it's a sideboard of five creatures that they are powerful, but um, once you use them, you use them. The partners were pretty cool. Like I said, I had the Satan deck with Dante and I forgot the other guy. It was like some demon of lust, and I like the mechanics in that. I wouldn't mind going back to playing Force of Will, actually at all. But it's crazy how small of a card game it is and how expensive the boxes are. The older sets you could get for dirt cheap, like for $20 a booster box or like $30. But then the newer sets they want like I go on TCG player, they want like 140. That ain't gonna happen. I'm not doing that. So I just got the cards that I've got right now, and I wouldn't mind picking that up again. And then number one, I've got Pokemon. I think Pokemon is probably the most fun trading card game to play, even though I'm not playing it currently. Um, the amount of like I said, you can filter through your deck. You could play. I'm gonna play a Pokeball. I'm gonna filter through my deck and I'm gonna look for a basic Pokemon, put it onto my bench because you got your active and then you can have a bench of five there, and then you can put energies on either your active or your benches so you can, and it's crazy because then you can like pump up your big one that you want, play a card and then switch them, and then I've done it where when I switch them it enters, it's got an ability, it triggers the ability, I'm going to pay the energies to then retreat and then bring it back, and then oh look, I got another switch, I'm going to trigger it again. And um the prize card system's pretty cool. And it does really feel like that when you're collecting the Pokemon. I don't think I have really any English ones in front of me. Just for like an example. But let me see, I gotta go through my binder here. My little one. I was collecting Korean and Chinese there for a while because you can't get your hands on anything. Like here, you can have the benefits. So you got a Charizard EX right here. And then, let's say then you collect this Charizard. Their abilities are totally different. This is from the Pikachu movie. And Detective Pikachu. But this one is inferior to the promo, right? Because this is the energies you need to cast for the moves and stuff. But in order to bring out this Charizard, you actually have to evolve it the hard way. So you would... Scalping prizes, oh my god. Yeah, I haven't played Gundam. I haven't gotten into that, but it looks fun. It looks pretty fun. I don't know, do you actually use the miniatures? But scalping prices, those are ridiculous. That's the reason why I'm focusing on other trading card games. I'm focusing on trading card games that are not being scalped. I would like to do, like I said, number one I picked was Pokemon. I haven't done like I said, I haven't done Gundam. I like Bandai trading card games a lot. I wish that I got into Digimon more, but Gundam I got excited. I did get excited for Gundam. The cards look pretty nice, they look slick, but so for scalping prices, so I'm gonna be honest. I think a lot of the scalpers are actually just deeply in debt, and because of the government shutdown, they're gonna start panic selling more. I think scalping collectibles is disgusting. A lot of scalpers like to say that they don't care about the kids, screw them or whatever. Buy this for 10x. It's I did kind of want to fall into that at the beginning with my kids so that she can get into Pokemon, but I think people need to seriously just pay what, be more realistic. There's other stuff out there to collect, and then you make the people that scalp or invest, you make them sit with the cards, and then they get desperate and sell. That's just basically what's going to happen. Um, I find it ridiculous that there's boxes coming out that even the stores are now supporting these scalping prices, where they want like almost $1,000 for a booster box. Or you've got GameStop and other stores coming out with these mystery bags or mystery packs, and those are a ripoff. They've definitely have taken trading cards, which already was a form of gambling as it was. It was just a collectible gambling though, and they've taken it into like a high roller gambling. If you think about it, I don't know. I don't know how many people that collect now have gone to a casino and gambled. I've done it before when I was younger. I had a gambling problem for a little bit, playing slot machines because it was like playing video games. And I think that's why I'm able to, like, for me personally, I'm able to break out of it quicker. And I kind of was, when I first started my channel, I was kind of raising the awareness um, early. I kind of cut back because I didn't want to, like, piss people off. But um, they, it's just, it's just I don't know how to explain it. It reminds me right now of for scalping. I don't know if anybody remembers when GameStop they pumped and dumped GameStop stocks. It's the same freaking thing. I watch Pokemon investors when they're they're scalpers, dude. They're just professional not professional scalpers, but they're hobbyist scalpers, I guess. I don't know what else to call them. They it's just gross because I sit there on like TikTok or whatever, and I'm flipping through, and I see nostalgia videos, and it reminds me, when I was a kid, even though that Pokemon stuff like that, trading cards were already a form of gambling. Um, to collect it, like I would go to a Wizards of the Coast store in Arizona when I was a kid when Pokemon first came out, and there was the packs sitting there on the counter, all this other stuff, mainly D&D stuff. Oh, thanks for the like. Um, and they even had Pokemon leagues where you won badges and stuff. Like it was fun for the kids. And now it's just so perverse ever since COVID that people found that they could make money off of this, that they ruined it. It's just like with sports cards back in the 80s and 90s. They overprint the shit out of them, and then they're ruined. Um, I don't think people see it though because of the hype. I remember telling my dad because we were collecting base. My dad started a binder of baseball cards for me, and I was born in '88, so I'm kind of old. And I remember telling him because it'd be like I have a Ken Griffey Jr. card, and let's say it's a rookie card back in the day, and it wasn't worth much. And I'd be like, he was my favorite baseball player. And I'd be like, wow, this is crazy. That's all the value is of this card. I thought it's like let's say $10, something stupid. Um, and I did research and I found out from collectors' websites the reason why that certain cards you think would be worth a lot more is because that there's so many circulating out there. They printed so much because people that grew up like it's like Pokemon. People that grew up when they were kids that collected and then they drew up, prices went up. They saw that they can make money. The companies printed out more and they flooded the system or flooded the collectors with it. And I'm like, well, this is what they're doing with Pokemon. Look how many reprints that Pokemon is doing. How many reprints of cards Magic's done? Like how many dark rituals do we have, or how many soul rings do we have to have? And then I could sit there and be like, well, how much is that? Like $5? Are you kidding me? This Ristic Study? This is like a Ristic Study, dude. This is like a $50 card. I go, why? Because it's a Ristic Study. Well, how many Ristic Studies have been printed? How many, of these cards have been printed? It's just different artworks. What do I care? When you talk to somebody that's just wanting to play the game, they look for the cheapest. But you'll have people that try to hoard and gouge the cards, and it just ruins it. When really trading cards are a game, kids should be able to enjoy it. If I go online, I've done it before, and I see Pokemon packs sitting there, and I want to get them, but there's a kid there, and he's wanting to get it. Let the kid have it. Let them have the fun. For anybody that's serious about going on Whatnot, and if you look now, I implore you, go on Whatnot, go on lives here on YouTube or TikTok, and you see these Pokemon streamers. They're not moving as much product anymore, and I said it back when I was doing TikTok a lot more. I was like, when times get tough, these people that are scalping, that are investing, they're gonna lose out on a lot of money because when you're relying on the collectors to pay for your product, right? So when the scalpers are um relying on, this is why I made a video that's called investing in collectibles is stupid. So what do scalpers and investors rely on? They sit there and they go, here, let's say I got this promo Leonid. Let's say it's like $20. I sit there and go, I got a $20 card. My investment, my 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 portfolio is $20. And I try to tell them, and I gotten flack for this, that if you take your trading card collection and you reduce it to 70% of its value that's market, that's most likely what you're going to get back in return. And because I've sold a lot of cards and mainly to other um uh LGSs. I go to local game stores and I try and get store credit because I get into all these other card games. They give you 75% or 70% store credit and they give you 60% cash. When you go and sell a collectible, you try flip a collectible. Um, if you're not using the marketplace, you're just trying to flip, people are going to haggle with you. They're going to try and trade to reduce the price. And now it's going to be getting to that point where the people that that are able to do that in the past and squeak by financially, they're not going to be able to do it anymore. So then the people that are scalping and are investing into collectibles, they're going to be stuck with them, and they're going to be stuck with the debts. I wonder how much debt is accumulated from people that are scalping Pokemon. How much? You can't tell me that these guys that are loading up um shopping carts full of Pokemon product, spending like $600 at a Walmart, can just drop it like that and then go running away. And they're paying it straight out of pocket. I think that they're paying with debt with a credit. That's what I think. If you look at the total debt from credit cards in the United States since COVID, I think it's like $1.7 trillion of credit card debt accumulated since 2020. And what boomed in 2020? Collectibles, Pokemon cards boomed. Nostalgia, stupid crap boomed. I was one of those. I was one of those that was like, man, I want to get into Pokemon. They're coming out with 25th anniversary. I want my kid to enjoy this. And then now it's people that are like, they've been scalping or they've been starting trading card shops in their own houses and stuff. So, yeah. Well, I watch a lot of Caleb Hammer. I love that guy's content. I mean, when he's tearing into people, some of the stuff he says is pretty bad. Even I'm like, okay, dial it back, dude. But yeah, it's $1,000 car payments, just big spenders. How about some of these YouTubers that have got like a fancy setup, but then you see that the rest of their house is empty? It's um I know that's been like since the dawn of time, basically. There's been people that try to look extravagant to get attention and stuff. Sorry, I'm going off track there a little bit, but I think what I'm saying there is where they overspend, but they want to look wealthy. Another one, oh, here's another reason or another thing that popped in my head. Um, if you watch these gamblers, the people that do the website gambling, and you look at them, there's like this one dude that always has his shirt off, and he's really buff, and he's playing Plinko or something on some website, and he's dropping like 10 grand, but then he's begging people on his stream for money. Bossman Jack's one of them too. Well, they drop thousands of dollars and then they beg their streamers for money. And what's crazy is people give them money just to watch them crash again. And I just wonder how many people that flash around their wealth or their looks and everything are actually just so far in debt. Because some of the people that like Caleb Hammer gets, you'd look at them being like, oh, wow, they look well off. Oh, your job's like, oh, she's a dental hygienist. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. No, they're like $500,000 in debt. It's like, whoa, they're losing their house. They took out a second mortgage or whatever, all this crazy shit. They've got like $60,000 of credit card debt. So then that makes me sit there and go, if oh, and another thing is the student loans, the whole student loan thing. You know, people going to school, and then AI is taking up a lot of the jobs now. The jobs that I like Dave Ramsey too. I've watched some of his stuff. And yeah, debt is a normal thing, but there's debt like when debt gets super crazy, like we see like the one dude, I remember that one clip, that short that a dude called in and his wife is leaving him and he's like what's it like $500,000 in debt? And it came out to being that um he got it on Pokemon cards. And then like Dave Ramsey's just like look just like stopped. He's like, "Oh my god, Pokemon." That made the internet for a while. Yeah, and that's why I wonder when you see these crash outs and stuff like that. It's like how many people were in that guy's situation? How many people are still in that guy's situation? I was on Whatnot the other day just seeing if I could find a crash out, and I came across this one guy. Um, this is gonna be funny, Beta. So this one guy was hyping up. Him and his friend were hyping up. They had like all these Pokemon boxes, right? And they were hyping up that they are starting bids at like $40. And they're like, you can get these ETBs, whatever. Everything that I'm spending right here, I'm losing money. I'm currently losing $4,000 if you guys buy everything for current price. I need you guys to bid it up. I need you guys to bid it up. Blah blah. And it was a random wheel. And every time I saw somebody bid, the wheel was nothing but Japanese Pokemon booster packs. So I was just confused. I was like, so I just typed in there. I asked a question. I said, uh, are you doing $25 starting bids for booster packs? And immediately I got called a hater. I got called I got told that they were gonna ban me. They said no stupid questions. I even had people tell me that I was annoying for asking one question. And I was like, how much of this is fake? They're like, stop asking stupid questions, man. You're annoying, blah, blah. I just asked one question. And then finally somebody's like, well, take a look at the wheel. And I'm like, well, where's the wheel? How can I find the wheel? And I got told by the host that I was a pocket watcher. I got called a pocket watcher. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. I went to try and see if I could find stuff on it, but I think Whatnot deleted it. I didn't know what a pocket watcher was, so I checked the show notes, and I really wanted to tell the guy off, but I didn't want to get banned because I wanted to see what else he did. And so there was this one chick that won, I don't know, 7 ETBs in a row. He acted like he was crashing out a little bit because he's saying that he's losing so much money. And I was like, okay, well, this guy jumped me right away. Obviously, this is a scam then. And I was watching the wheel, and it was like, I've tried selling. Okay, so I tried selling, and I was actually doing pretty good selling like Vocaloid Hatsune Miku Kaiju cards, singles, or yeah, just singles. And but I never did anything random. I felt kind of dirty even thinking about doing that type of stuff. So I stopped selling for now. Um, but I could go into that at another time. But I've never seen anybody use a wheel, or I don't know how to do that. But I felt like every time I looked at it, like when you seen it spin, it just said nothing but Japanese Team Rocket or Destined Rivals, whatever the set is, booster packs. But then it would swap. They would bring up the wheel again, and all of a sudden there's like 5 or 6 entries for an ETB. So I'm sitting there like, are they running 2 different wheels when they do this stupid stuff? Like, are they taking the bids and they'll run like 6 wheels of like, oh, this guy's gonna win a booster pack, whatever. and then they switch it like, okay, we need somebody to win, so we're gonna switch the wheels. I wonder if that's a possibility, because then it reminds me of like slot machines where you play a progressive and they say you're gonna hit the major before it hits a certain price. Yeah, it was. It's super sketchy. I don't hear Rattle or anybody talk about that, so I might be just misinterpreting the wheel system. But um but yeah, I just asked that one question. I got I got told off right away and I was like, okay, well this is a scam. But the guy had 400 streamers and he only had like two or three people bidding. So I just wondered if they were just like um in on it, just like friends that hopped on just to kind of make it look like it was busy. So, and then you got people hyping it up. But yeah, he started the bids, and then he started the bids at $10 to get people to bite, and some people did, and he was crashing out even more because the prices weren't going up. He was like, "I'm already losing out so much money." Oh, that was it. I got told by people there too, multiple people, that this guy is losing out on so much money. Like these prices are insane, dude. What did he call them? Was he calling them rockets or something like that? It was some weird term. Some weird term he was calling the grail hits basically, or the top hits. Anyways, yeah, it was stupid. It was stupid. I was on there for like 10 minutes and then I just left a thing. I said, dude, I wish you luck. I just only asked a question, and I was being sincere. I hope you have a good night. And he was like, "Hey, no worries, man. You have a good night too." And I was like, "That's so weird." It's like I wonder how many people just asked a question. I don't know, but yeah. When the hobby is super predatory like that with scalping, and then people believe in the scalping prices because that's what people are paying. Um, I just abandon it. I just abandon it. I'll buy the dirt cheap starter decks for Pokemon for me and my kid to have fun. And then if my friends want to join in just to have fun, I don't need to buy these brand new boxes where the hits, you might as well just buy the top hit of the set. You might as well not even buy the booster boxes. So these people that are stuck with sealed and they're trying to sell sealed to you, just buy singles. Do what like a lot of Magic collectors do. Buy singles and then you screw the scalpers basically. They have to open the product then, right? If you think in any situation that they would overprint, like they print out all these waves, the sets should be cheap as hell. They're not cheap because people are hoarding them. The investors are hoarding them. They buy the booster boxes, they buy a shit ton of them, they hide them away. That's why we see pictures all the time of people with sealed product, and then they flex and say, my collection is worth this much. And it's like, no, honestly, your collection is not worth that. It's worth less than that. That's why earlier I said in the past, I've tried to tell people in these investing videos, take your current collection, your portfolio, reduce it down to 70%. That's pretty much what it's worth, because if you try to turn it, you're most likely going to get 70% of its value because it's a collectible. People like to haggle, or if you're selling it to a shop, they're not going to give you full value. They give you 60 or 70% for cash. Um, I just wonder. I just wonder how many of these investor bros are buying from each other to keep the prices afloat. That's a conspiracy of mine. I just wonder. Like, let's say you Beta, let's say that you are selling Destined Rivals, and whatever Destined Rivals is going for, the price is going down. I will buy two Destined Rivals boxes from you to keep the price up, because it's TCG Player, right? And they go off of their averages. I tried to bring up during one of Nostalgianomics videos that if you look at the volume of the sales, they're really not selling very well at points. That he's sitting there trying to be like, "This is what they're worth," and I try to point out one of the chats. I'm like, "Yeah, but there's like only 2 that sold that day." Like if we're looking at the average that are sold, let's say that there's only 70 booster boxes a week or something that's sold. Like that's not a lot. They try to pump it up like it is a lot. That's not a lot. So, I just wonder how many exactly. And that's what I'm saying. They kind of do they kind of can do that with stocks I think too, and then they get in trouble. I don't know if that's what fraud is. I don't know the definition off the top of my head, but I sat there and I'm like, if I put sales on the ticket, like I want to pump, let's say I've got an excess of Journey Together. Like me and you've got an excess of Journey Together. What's stopping us from selling multiple boxes to each other back and forth to maintain the price? I don't think TCG Player tracks buyers, and then you can also make multiple accounts, right? So that's another reason why I just got out of buy and seal. There's no point. Eventually, it's just going to become the realization that all these collectors will go on the websites or the videos and they would say like, man, I wish I could get them, man, wish I could get them. And then you got the YouTubers going, well, actually 20 of them sold in the last week. And then it'd be like, well, do you know what those 20 were? It's probably investors selling to each other to maintain the price. That's what it was. And that's what I truly 100% believe. Normal collectors cannot afford this shit. Who are the ones that can flex around the money that they can afford? Other investors. So they're just basically, it's like that Family Guy. It reminds me of that Family Guy skit where the bald guys that have a secret bond or whatever, and it's basically 2 bald guys in an elevator and a guy with hair. He leaves, and the 2 bald guys are there, and they go, "Oh man, I thought he would never leave," and then they start licking each other's bald head. And then this other bald guy comes in there and he's like, "Oh, you guys already did the thing?" That is what I think it is. I also like to say, too, that they're basically smelling their own farts when they're all hyping each other up and trying to keep each other emotionally stable. So I would refer to it back when I first started doing this like YouTube or TikTok. I would say like you guys are like smelling your own farts over here because it just doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. Um, but yeah, I am 100% a believer that Lorcana, anything that has to deal with kid stuff should be available to the kids to have fun and build fond memories because that's what I did with Pokemon. That's what I did with Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic. Built memories and had fun. Now it's not. It's not fun at all. So, sorry, went on a rant there, Beta. But that's why I'm looking at other trading card games like I said, Card Fight Vanguard. I could get a booster box for like $40. Same with Weiss-Schwarz. Shadowverse Evolved. They just came out with like a set that I think is like $40. And it's interesting. It's an all bikini set. So I was like, well, that would be interesting to collect, but I don't think I'm going to because, like I said, my daughter wants to collect with me. So not doing that. But I do have a friend that collects that type of art. And so it's there's just more out there. And that's why I like on my channel, I like pushing the card art so that people can see that there's other stuff. Even if you don't want to play a game, you can just get pretty nice card art to put in a binder that makes it happy for you or makes you happy. And then you'll have more fun instead of like spending. Like I went to a card store. My daughter told me she wanted to get some cards. We went to the card store that we normally get the Miku cards, and they're $1 a booster pack generally. They were closed, and my daughter really wanted to open some cards. I said, well, we could go to this other one. Let's see if they've got them. We went down there. They didn't have them, but they had Pokemon. And I said to her, I said, well, I was going to let you buy a couple packs. So I said, all right, do you want Pokemon packs? And she said, yes. I go, okay. They had Surging Sparks and they had Mega Evolution. And I said, which one do you want? She goes, what? And I go, which one do you want? You get 2 booster packs. Which one do you want? She picked Surging Sparks for both because it had Pikachu on it. They were $9 a booster pack. I just about died. I almost spent $20 on 2 booster packs. $20. And let me tell you, this is where, for scalpers, this is where the people that fall for that stuff, it's so disgusting. When you open up the packs, the cards aren't worth anything. They're not even worth anything. So we pulled an EX, which some scalpers on like Whatnot and stuff, they will try and hype you up and be like, that's a hit. Now for us as collectors and players, we got excited. It was a Kilowattrel EX. And what was cool, this reminds me, this is where as a kid, it's cool to see this like history repeat itself. So her first pack, she pulled the Kilowattrel EX. And then her second pack, we sat there, we're like, oh, but you don't have a Wattrel. Her second pack, she pulled the Wattrel. And she got so excited because she has a Pikachu deck. And she's like, I get to play these. And I was like, yeah, that's good for you. And then I'm playing, it's the really cheap starter box that we got. So the Armarouge, I think, is the other deck. And she's like, here, you can have all the fire. And I'm like, okay, that's a beautiful thing. But once again, if people realize just buy singles, those 2 booster packs I paid $18 for, I guarantee you I could have gotten those for under $5 altogether. Every one of those cards I got, probably $3. And this is where it's just like baffling, but I think a lot of people just bought into, they just see the price. Prices could be easily manipulated. You got social media, these people that are fake, that are just hyping it up. And people just want to believe that they're making the right decision. It's like putting all your money into a meme coin and then believing it's going to hit $1 or whatever the dream price is. So it's sad. It's not going to go away. Pokemon's not going to die, but it's like in my video I said that investing in collectibles is stupid. Because the market is so manipulated, but that's why sometimes I'll make videos and I just, like I said, I'll repeat myself on it. I go on to TCG Player. They have a list of all these other card games. Go on to YouTube, find social media influencers or whatever. Find YouTubers that are trying to push those. There's a guy that I like watching for the Card Fight Vanguard. The main guy, I think his name is called Different Fight. I think he lives in Japan now, but anyways, he's like an ambassador for Card Fight Vanguard. He's got good content. Some of the Yu-Gi-Oh guys like Team APS, I like them as well. Watching those guys, they just have fun with the cards. They don't get too crazy about value and stuff like that. But you don't see very many people with Vice Schwartz or Shadowverse Evolved. So I'm thinking about taking on those and trying to become like a voice for those trading card games at some point. It would be cool. I think it would be cool to have a goal of at least getting a free advertising kit from a TCG. And like Alestrals, I do like Alestrals too. And just doing that, I think that would be cool. I would love it. I would love to be somebody that voices for other trading card games. So if you see scalpers or people crowd into a trading card uh, um, game, but you don't see an increase of people playing the game, then that's a red flag. Just like yesterday, I made that decision that I'm pretty much done with Magic the Gathering. Can't do that. I'm just done. So, because I remember with Magic, it was basically you're a wizard, and your deck is your spell book. Now it's Commander with Doctor Who fighting Raphael from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I'm over it. Sorry to be a Debbie Downer on it. Hey Beta, if you're still here, what card games do you play? Oh, you know what's actually really cool too? Check this out. So I actually bought the video game to this. This Dragon Ball cards. These are Super Dragon Ball Heroes cards, and they're really cool to collect. Um, so Super Dragon Ball Heroes is actually an arcade game in Japan, and when you play the card on the screen or on the mat of the arcade game, it'll digitize your guy on there. So you would play the game, you got your deck, and you just summon them. Like I'll bring, Future Gohan, Super Saiyan Future Gohan, and then these are his abilities in the game and his stats. He has a special ability trigger if there's him, Goku, and Trunks, and then he's also got like another special ability here. And I don't know, it's cool, but if you have a Nintendo Switch, I think it's only on the Switch, there's a Super Dragon Ball Heroes game, and it's pretty fun. And the card game, like the gotcha mechanic of collecting the cards and then like their abilities. I think I had a team of all Super Saiyan 4s. I had Broly, Goku, Vegeta, Gogeta. I think you can have like 5. There was like one more. But it was intense. It was pretty cool. Like I think this is a Super Saiyan 4 right here. Yeah. Got Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. And I'm trying to, based on the symbols, remember what the abilities are. I know I was able to take ChatGPT and just like take a picture and have it translate, or you can have Google translate it. Right? Well, the closest you could get is if you got the Switch and you bought the game. I almost beat it. I want to pick it back up and play it again. But I would start from the beginning so I could just recollect everything. It was cool. It had multiple sets, like pretty much all the sets that they printed. The boxes to collect though, they are kind of expensive. I think I was paying like 70. I did buy this special edition binder for my Dragon Ball Heroes cards. You can pick up these binders and they come with like promos or like a set amount of cards. I don't even know. I might have taken them out of this to put it looks like my Shadowverse Evolve cards in it because I was trying to collect that. But I'm trying to see if I probably got in the garage where my other stuff is. But yeah, it's fun. It's so if you just take a look on YouTube, Super Dragon Ball Heroes, and you see the character arcs in there. I don't know if you're familiar, where they've got like evil versions of them where they're masked, and I just loved the idea of an evil, like a more evil version of Broly as a Super Saiyan 4 that's corrupted by an evil Dragon Ball. So he's got like the mask on, and or no, did he have a mask? He probably did at one point. But then he's got like the Dragon Ball that's like shoved right into his chest, and he's Super Saiyan 4, just nuts. There's different classes too. I don't really have any of my expensive ones or like my big hits. I pulled a couple secret rares, which were cool. You have the hero class, which is a balanced fighter. And then this one I think is the technical class or elusive, and that's the more like agile, and they're about ranged combat usually. Then you have the berserk, which are just like glass cannons, and that's like the general gist of like their class system. And then their sets, if you want to look up the sets, is in the top right corner. And yeah, it's just cool. They're thick. They're pretty good card stock. They're the size of Yu-Gi-Oh cards or Cardfight Vanguard cards. So I've heard this size referred to as Japanese, as like Japanese card size. Um, but they're mainly for collecting unless you've got the arcade game, and then you can play with them. And the card game, I mean it's pretty cool. Like I said, I think I pulled. You can pull some really cool stuff. I pulled what was the secret rares I had? I had I think a Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And I think the other one was maybe a Gogeta. A Super Saiyan Gogeta secret rare. They're pretty sick. They're pretty sick. But like I said, I bought this binder. I think the binder was like $80 though. I had to save up for it. But the binder came with like 14 promotional cards that you could just get from buying this. And it seems like that they do every year. They seem to do a special binder promo set. So I thought it was cool. I like that some of the sleeves they get the sheets, they have like a top sheet, but I like the idea at first, but now it's like you have them, they get crinkled up, and it's just I'm not a big fan of them now. But this is a really good quality binder. It's got like just a little pinchers here. Yeah. I like stuff like that. I like trading cards, IPs that have stuff for their collectors as well. That's why I like Pokemon a lot, especially since they've got you could get like the thick plastic holders for some of your Pokemon cards. My friend's got one for his Terrapagos, Ogre or something like that. Like special things that you could get or that they have within their kits. I feel like some card games, some especially Western card games, do not do that for their collectors or their fans. So I see that mainly with the like Dragon Ball, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh's a big one. Yu-Gi-Oh, I feel like even though that the game is broken as heck, and it's made by Konami, which Konami makes slot machines, so that's a big red flag. The stuff and especially the prices is what they are still pretty attractive and cool. Like when I buy a box and I'm getting a pack of card sleeves that are decorative. I don't know if I have them here. Do I? Yeah, there we go. Like I'm getting card sleeves that are pretty nice with my box for like $20. I'm getting booster packs. This you're making me a fan. I feel appreciated, even though that the game is, you know, unbalanced as heck. Okay, yeah. Well, you check it out and see on Steam if they've got Super Dragon Ball Heroes. They might, but I assume I'm pretty sure it's a Switch only. But you can still watch people play or anything like that. I wish I owned it physically, but I haven't downloaded. As far as I know, there's only the one. I am actually very tempted. I think it's expensive though, and I'm gonna wait till it goes on sale. But I think that there's a Card Fight Vanguard on there. I wanna get that for the Switch. So right now the trading card games that I have on there would technically be the Super Dragon Ball Heroes, and I have the Shadowverse Evolved trading card game on there. That one's fun, where you're basically um uh in the anime, I guess, because there was an anime called Shadowverse Evolve or Shadowverse Brave. I believe. And so it's basically based off of the Brave anime. Hi, how's it going? It was based off of the Brave anime. It was pretty cool. Um, just life gets in the way and you stop putting the game down and then you forget about it. But the game was fun. The card game was fun. The characters were fun. The guy that's the main protagonist of the anime, he's a little bit annoying because he's that player of like, we gotta play. I dedicate my life to this. Oh, you're at school. All I can think about is Shadowverse. It's that type of character, and it's like, oh my god, okay, dial it back. But no, he's like full on. It's nothing but like paragraphs of how much he loves Shadowverse, like in every scene. It's like, oh my god. But it's a good game. It's fun. It's fun. There's a lot of NPCs that you can challenge and play, and their difficulties vary, and you can collect the cards and stuff. It's pretty cool. Um, I like that it's the actual rules of Shadowverse pretty much, and not like an old school Yu-Gi-Oh game where it was just whatever it made up. I had Forgotten Memories when it first came out for the PlayStation 1. I remember when I played that, I tried to play like the actual game, and I was like, why is my like 2500 or whatever my big dude getting beat by like an 800? And I just remember it was like an elemental system. I was like, this is stupid. Um, but it's interesting to watch people play that game now. But I remember playing it. It was so frustrating, but it was fun. I like trading card games like that. But Pokemon, I had the Pokemon TCG game for the phone, or not phone, the Game Boy. That was a fun game. I think that was my first TCG video game. Was that one? I got the promo card. I think it was like the Meowth. Um, that was sick. That was fun. I beat that game all the way. I played all of it. I just downloaded Shadowverse Evolved Worlds Beyond on my phone. I'm gonna give that a shot. I was thinking about streaming that, but um, for Dragon Ball games, I think the last one I played was Xenoverse 2. I like the Xenoverse games. I try to get into Dragon Ball Fighter Z or Fighters. The one that I probably will never play is it called Limit Breakers? Is that the one that's or Breakers? That's the one where it's basically like a Death by Daylight ripoff. I just don't. I tried watching a little bit. I just don't get it. But one game, okay, that reminds me. I was wanting to mention this. One game I haven't played, but I know I will love one TCG, and I'm pretty sure if I picked it up, I will probably just keep collecting it. Is Digimon, the new Digimon game from Bandai, or yeah, from Bandai. Well, it's not new, but it's the current. I love. I did buy some packs actually, but I never invested like into a deck and stuff. But I love the idea of the evolution system and the digi eggs. I thought that was pretty cool. But well, I think I'm gonna hop off, guys. So I want to thank everybody for joining. Thanks, Beta, for the conversation. But I think I'm gonna end it right here. I might be on next week. So, but I hope you guys have a good day. And yeah, if you'd like, check out my channel. It's mainly trading card art. I'm kind of still, even though that I started in February, I'm still trying to find my shtick because I started with the art, but I want to do like tutorials and gameplay videos. So I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't know what feels right, so I'm experimenting. So I got some weird videos that I post up, and I'll unlist them if they're just too weird. But yeah, thank you, and I hope you guys have a good day. See you on the next one.